Welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched an episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Yes, we did.
And for episode 3, it's a good one. Good episode 3.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot was packed in.
Yeah, it was a little chaotic, but still had moments of levelness. So it wasn't just jacked up to
Yeah. It wasn't. There was some melodrama, but it was not all drama.
Right.
It was some melodrama.
Is that the name of the title? Melodrama?
No, might be my new personality trait. Because I'm going to tell that joke at least 20 times at brunch this weekend. You're going to hate every minute of it.
Melodrama.
Before we get on with the show, we should let everyone know, because we had to re-record that one episode. That was our 75th episode. So this is our 77th episode.
Yeah, 77.
So
it's a good year. Good number.
The year I was born. 77, because I'm old.
No.
But no, thanks for joining us for our 77th episode. And those of you who've been listening for all 77, I'm sorry, but thank you for doing so. And tell your friends, follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
That's the whole thing.
Subscribe. Yeah.
On YouTube.
Mash that button on YouTube down there. Or is it over there, up there? Over there.
Down. I think it's below.
I'll mash that button. Right, other way around. Maybe. Anyway, regardless, thanks for joining us.
Regardless, not irregardless.
I said regardless.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I will never say irregardless unless I'm making fun of someone who says it.
Yes.
Same way, supposedly. It always bothers me. And the one that gets me every time, and this is the one that I don't think has made its way into very many pet peeve lists, is acrossed.
Yeah.
And I get why they're saying, because it's as though they're saying ACROSSED, like acrossed, but it's because people say across the way, across the street. So I think a lot of people just run those two together, but
I didn't really pay attention or realize what people were saying across until you pointed it out to me. And that's when we were watching People Puzzler.
Every time.
Remini, which I guess just went away, is never coming back, which is sad because it was one of our favorite games on the Game Show channel. And yes, we watch the Game Show channel a lot because we are not old, but we sometimes have the TV habits of old people.
I think we do have the TV habits of old people.
Yeah. And
we know more about Medicaid Part B than anyone else in the world. We see so many Medicaid Part B plans.
The general?
Commercials. Yeah, the general. If you want to save some money. Okay. But yeah, we watch a lot of Game Show Network. I think the problem with Game Show Network is that no one's really, it's not a high stakes, market.
Right.
There's not Game Show Digest where they're and People Puzzler got renewed for a third season.
Well, but the thing is, there's so many shows. Maybe I think they just kind of pushed it aside because they have that show with Jaleel White, which I don't really know. I don't think that's actually premiere, but it's coming up.
Right.
And the show with Cameron Manheim.
But the same way, there's no America Says anymore, and Split Second.
Yeah.
All these things.
Well, we just got off a new season of Split Second. So that was pretty recent, but they have not had America
Fingers crossed.
2024.
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah, either way. We need our new fresh game show.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should check out the Julia White one. That seemed like it might be okay.
I can't remember what the show was, but I'll watch it.
And we need to find Bravo's favorite Jerry McConnell. Jerry O'Connell. Yeah. Sorry.
On Fictionary. In syndication. Yes.
Yeah, it's probably Pluto TV or something. And
right.
I don't know where people find game shows if it's not the Game Show Network or Buzzer. But yeah, if you want to talk about game shows, we'll have a whole other podcast. So that's not what this one's about.
No.
But
that's Salt Lake and not game show.
Yes, Salt Lake. Good episode, I think. Very good episode.
When she initially, actually, when I saw online months ago that they were going to Milwaukee on their cast trip, I was like, Milwaukee, what's there?
Really
chaos.
Yeah. Yeah.
But fun. I have to say, not to be shady, but being a little shady, I thought the private jet was a little small because we're used to Beverly Hills or wherever.
Any other show where they have a private jet? Dubai.
Yeah.
No, they didn't have a PJ on Dubai, but either way, we're used to
Beverly Hills. They have a huge private jet. So I was kind of they just had a private jet on OC when they went to Sonoma.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I think, though, as those who fly commercial, we should not throw stones at the private jet.
Whitney Rose, you take me on your private jet. Not that I don't think she owns it.
Right.
You take me on a private jet, I will go with you for sure. Not throwing shade. It's just that, it just seems smaller in comparison. And I'm surprised that like Lisa or Meredith were like, this is a small jet.
Yeah, I wonder too. I wonder if the ladies of Salt Lake, have a different expectation of private jet. They're just very happy to not be flying Delta.
Yeah.
So they're a major hub in Salt Lake. That's why I made it Delta. I'm not just picking on Delta.
Right. No.
I mean, statistically speaking, I can pick on them, but no, my favorite airline is Southwest, although I haven't flown them since they started assigning seats, which might really piss me off. And I like my guerrilla eating plans. But either way.
And next trip probably will on Southwest. Not this upcoming one.
We got a few before we could fly Southwest again.
Yeah.
But I used to fly Southwest so much for work that I had companion pass, and I loved it. Just bus with wings. I knew exactly where to sit, get on and off the plane easily. You know me. I bossed you around on our first few together.
So much.
But the private jet was a little rinky-dink compared to the ones that we've seen. Because also, they were sitting kind of like really tight with each other.
Really tight. Like, I'm sure there's only like one camera in there because they couldn't, lose the space.
Well, and on top of that, they didn't have one of those bench seats that Heather Dubrow made fun of on the OC trip. Remember? She's like, oh, and then darn.
She's
why do you like to sit sideways?
Yeah. Yes. I'd like to sit sideways. Whenever I'm on the bus, I always sit on the bench row.
Wait,
I don't like...
Like on a city bus or on the commuter bus?
On any bus.
But there's no side seats on the commuter bus.
The one I take every day?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always figured that was like a good old coach bus where it was just seats facing forward.
Well, no, because it used to be they would give us the bigger bus, but now they've really downsized lately.
Well, no, you're taking the short bus to work.
It's not the short bus. It's shorter, but it's not the short bus.
Okay.
But I digress. So, yeah, they get to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Actually, except Mary, who doesn't fly with them because...
I thought that was nice that she, addressed that look, I'm not going to be on this plane with you guys. I don't need that sort of drama, but I'll be there.
Right now, we have to talk about how Mary is fun. It's so weird that she's funny in confessionals. Her dad was adjacent to Jeffrey Dahmer.
What's that smell?
I feel like everyone in Milwaukee probably says that. Oh yeah, was the smell that bad that you were smelling it out on the streets? Probably not.
Right.
But we didn't finish the rest of that Dahmer series.
Well, we've watched a lot of Dahmer documentaries. I don't know that we...
It's Ted Bundy.
Oh, excuse me. Pardon. My bad.
Different murder.
Yeah.
But yeah, between that...
I'm having a hard time with Mary, wrapping my head around, why is she... I just don't understand what's changed other than the paycheck is probably what the answer is. But, yeah.
What got in... I mean... I guess you get used to it. Maybe she does need a check, maybe, or doesn't. I don't know. Some mad money, but she, whatever reason, she's participating and she's being funny and she's hugging Whitney and, making fun of the whole bobblehead thing and throwing shade at Britani and just
using tampons as corks.
I don't know that area. I'm going to defer to probably two T's to give us
I'm sure
a true or false so you can actually do that. Because it doesn't seem like it works that way. But again, I don't know.
Maybe pressure in that area might prevent you from having to go or helps you hold it better.
I mean, look,
but I got the impression that she's I just have a tampon up there and then when I got to go, I just pee and that soaks it all up. But that still doesn't seem right to me.
No, I think I don't think she would. In that case, she just where it depends. Right. At least at Rena.
And also on top of that, you'd think that Mary, that can't be the case because Mary seems so germophobic that she wouldn't want to be walking around with a cooch full of pee.
She would not pee on herself. So I think it stops it up so she does not have to pee at all. But I just think that's really, I love how they're the disclaimers are not medically tested.
Right.
You should not do this at home. But just the fact that she's giving out this information, it's just what is happening?
Why are you hire writers?
No, I think she's just anything that comes out of her mouth, she just says, and she's I'm having a good time with it, and she's really low stakes drama.
Yeah, I'm enjoying her, but I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for problematic things to be said.
Yes. Well, I mean, it leapt out with Britney when she was talking about her mothering. You don't do that.
Well, I mean, but that's just kind of Housewives etiquette. I mean, seriously, societally problematic.
Well, because she does say the thing that, that we heard rumors that she said about Lisa's son.
Oh, right.
So we'll see if that. I wonder if that stays in, but we'll get there.
We'll see. We'll find out.
We'll see.
But yeah, what does Milwaukee have to offer? Oddly, I've never been to Milwaukee. I've been to Wisconsin, but only to go to the S.C. Johnson Wax headquarters and museum.
Okay.
Thanks to my friend who made me go there on a Chicago trip, but I was happy I did. But never been to Milwaukee. I'd like to go.
Didn't know who the Bucks were.
I didn't. Yeah, if you'd put a gun to my head and said, what's the Milwaukee basketball team? I would have said, is it like the Brewers, like the baseball team? But that doesn't seem like it'd be right. But yeah, now I know the Bucks. I also now know that the Bucks don't have a quiet part of the stadium.
So loud. It must have been a nightmare for production to get us what we were getting. Because they can't dub stuff.
Right.
It's not like a sitcom.
Well, they could Frankenbite a bunch of it.
They could have Frankenbite a lot of it, but it just seemed like it was just so ridiculously loud.
Yeah.
So, but you're saying that in a better suite that you would have more soundproofing?
Well, often, it seemed like this suite was just open to the arena, whereas a lot of suites that have glass, but then you don't feel like you're part of the game. So it is definitely a give and take. A trade-off is what I mean. So, maybe that's just how they roll in Milwaukee. That's cool. I like it. But I don't even know the population of Milwaukee. I looked up, was it Bozeman, Montana, thanks to an episode of House Hunters, Billings, Montana. But yeah, if I had to guess off the top of my head, Milwaukee's 500,000?
Yes, that sounds about right. Is it the capital?
No, Madison, Wisconsin is the capital, but it's often, the capital of the states are often smaller towns. They're not necessarily the largest. So yeah, I don't know. But also, if you asked me what the population of Chicago was, I wouldn't know that either.
I wouldn't either.
I know San Francisco has 700,000 just because that's what everyone always says. And I'm from that area, so I know San Francisco a little bit better. But anyway, Milwaukee, I'd love to go sometime.
Yeah, look, that hotel was nice. I liked that it felt like a big dorm.
Yeah.
It was good for a cash trip, that everyone had their own room, and it all seemed to be the right size. It wasn't like, so-and-so's having a bad time. She deserves the best room. It was just everyone has a good room. Enjoy it. Meet me down the hall. Come into my room. Whisper talk, even though, Heather and Whitney, it's do you think the room is bugged?
I think. I also, do you not know you're mic'd? Any amount of whispering isn't going to help you right now.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's what they do when they're talking crap about people, and that's just it's
not a bad thing.
Not a bad thing.
It's good though, because I think in general, if you're going to talk smack about somebody, especially if they're maybe on FaceTime with their boyfriend right in front of you, use a little slightly lower voice.
Well, it was so loud there, I'm sure nothing could be heard. So, it was a little, speaking of Britney on the phone with the Olsen twins or whoever. Osmond brother. Whoever. I think it's a little bit presumptuous, although well-intentioned of Lisa to be like, let me send this multiple text to your boyfriend and say, oh, we're having a great time. Not going to talk to you for the rest of the day. And then be like, trust me. It was just a little presumptuous. I didn't like
funny.
it.
I thought it was probably the most likable thing about Lisa, which is, I find these things few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
That she did that was she's look, you need to value yourself. Don't waste time thinking about him right now. He's not putting you, in. I mean, even though he allegedly claimed her as his girlfriend, he's not really claiming her. So I think Lisa's advice of being just stop focusing on him and just be here with us and be present on this trip, and not obsessed with your boyfriend who isn't really your boyfriend.
I think that's always good advice for anyone, especially you're on a trip. Just be in the moment and leave home behind.
Yeah.
So
that's why we always go on trips together, because
Yes.
Let's be let's go do it.
I've been accused of many times I've actually been yelled at by friends, put down your phone. It's well, I have a life back home. It doesn't just stop because I'm here. It'd be nice if it could, but sometimes it doesn't. If my husband's at home and needs a little bit of, reinforcement, and I'm happy to give it.
Yeah, I feel like, we check in like enough. It's like, oh, where are you? Like, we're going to the hotel, we're going out to the casino,
Right.
we're going out to dinner.
So I know at some point I'm going to disappear entirely after I've had like 5 Manhattans, and I'm like, you'll just be like, oh, Scott went off and got drunk.
Right. But as long as I know, like at the end of the night that like you're like, I made it back to the hotel, and we always like call each other like before we go to bed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I always make it back to the hotel every time.
Don't want to hear that. So we always check in like before we each go to bed, or if like one's going to bed earlier than the other, it's like, okay, I'm safe and I'm going to bed. But that's just, I think, a thing you do. But with this Britney thing,
way to bring it back.
he ain't your man.
Yeah,
he ain't claiming you. He's trying to hook up with like the best brow lady in Salt Lake, apparently, according to Angie.
I still think every time she says it, I think, does she keep calling her brown lady? And I'm like, that's not right. And that's when I'm like, she's obviously not doing that.
Enunciate, Angie.
Yeah, but brow, well, I'm sure in her world, having a brow woman is just the way it goes. It's just natural, So I was like, oh, a brow lady or a brow girl.
Richard has a brow lady. So I was like, my brows did, girl. My brows did for Mickey.
Yeah. He just gets his nails did for Mickey, not his brows.
He does get his brows did.
Oh, you're right. He did.
He always,
or he do.
Threaded. How you do.
So, I'm jumping around like we always do. I mean, do you think that Angie telling Britney about this was like good or bad?
I think it was good. I wonder how soon she's going to tell her, because if she hadn't gotten caught talking about her. But regardless, she said something, because it's like, you're on camera,
right,
Lisa. So she's going to find out about it when she watched the TV. So it's good to be like, hey, I was trying to figure out how to say it to you, because it didn't seem like she's being catty. She was literally saying like to her husband and to Bronwyn, I'm in this position. I don't want to tell her this, but I should. And
it felt a little like it just,
I mean, it's definitely Housewives. She knew what she was doing in that respect. Otherwise, she would not have brought it up on camera, period.
Right.
The second you bring it up on camera, it becomes a thing. And but the thing is, are you going to tell a person or are you not?
But it was still also it didn't feel genuine to me at all. I just because she's bad acting, or because it's the sort of thing where, I don't know, I bring up a lot of things to people that maybe I shouldn't, but I also don't believe that it's my place to like tell a secret that's not mine.
Yeah.
So it felt like what Angie was doing was somewhat unnatural for her. So whether that's because she wouldn't tell that sort of thing normally, or just in general, she just didn't want to, tell it. But either way, I don't think she was being malicious with it.
No.
I just don't think that it's something she would normally do.
That makes sense.
If there wasn't a camera and a story.
Right. That's true.
The same way I don't think Meredith would have run off to the bathroom to console Britney if she had a storyline.
Meredith was not running after Britney. She's running after a storyline. She was like, oh gosh, wait, let me comfort you in the bathroom and give you some words of advice.
Which
they weren't bad.
They weren't bad, but Meredith just has this way of, her tone is 100% condescending all the time.
Yes.
So you're just like, did I just get lectured by Meredith Mark?
Yeah, like you should like go and date some other people. You should do this.
Yeah.
But I think she wasn't. Yeah.
Wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. But it was just really funny, because it was like, it also was like so like right time, right place, because she like just walked in on them telling Britney. It was like, oh snap. And then she like ran off crying. She's like, no one. Here I go.
She's probably also, I don't want to be here anyway.
I don't need to watch this basketball.
Yeah.
I'm not eating this food.
Back to would you rather have gone gambling or to the bobblehead museum?
Well, since I don't gamble, the bobblehead museum.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. It was cute with like all like the pop culture figures, and I didn't know that Milwaukee was known for bobbleheads.
I don't know that it is necessarily. I mean, the museum has to be somewhere, right?
Seriously, Milwaukee did not invent bobbleheads?
I don't know that they did. I mean,
invented bobbleheads.
I'm sure someone. I mean,
they really started off as like a sports thing.
That's what I think.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I associate them with.
Yeah, and they've like grown to like where everybody and everything has a bobblehead.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll put a link in the description for where the first bobblehead, was created, a little Wikipedia article or something. I don't know.
They were completely wrong while they're at the museum about who is who in the Golden Girls realm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, obviously, Whitney is Rose. Whitney Rose, as you said.
And she's a little, what's the nice way of saying stupid? She's not stupid. I don't think she's stupid at all. Yeah, she acts a little ditzy. That's what I'm going for.
Well, it's the voice. I think the voice, like, it makes you think that she's being ditzy, but that's just her voice. But
and then Mary, you're right, would have been Sophia
because she's cranky
and sarcastic.
And then Bronwyn would definitely be Sophia, and Meili, who we don't really know very well, is Blanche. Sure, why not?
Yeah, go ahead. But I mean, if you're really gonna cast the Housewives of Salt Lake, it would be Whitney as Rose.
Yeah.
Heather would be Dorothy, right?
Yes.
Or would Meredith be Dorothy so Heather could be Blanche?
But Heather isn't a sexual person.
Well, she's the most sexual of all of them. I guess Meredith does.
No, I think the first season she would talk a big game about how she liked black men.
Or men in general.
Well, no, she was like...
Yeah, she was gung-ho. Yeah.
Not saying anything about that. It's just something she said first season. But... yeah, aside from that, she doesn't talk about her dating life. She got super offended last year when Monica tried to... well, that's because Monica was talking about her daughter.
Yeah.
Which is weird. But I think the Mormon is still very much in Heather, where she's not going to talk about sex in that way. So
the Mormon is still very much in Heather. I'm sure she's hoping her next person in her is not Mormon.
Or it could be. The spirit of Joseph Smith is still within Meredith.
Okay.
So Heather. Gosh.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, so then who's who then? So Whitney is Rose.
Right.
And then we're going to keep Mary as Sophia.
Yes.
And then, maybe we drop Mary altogether because Meredith could be Sophia.
No, I like Mary Sophia. Mary is like already, like, she's still relatively young, but she acts like an old woman sometimes. And like, I can't be bothered.
Okay.
She'd be walking around with her like purse, but it would be Chanel.
Then Lisa's Blanche?
Yes, because she's vain.
Okay.
Like Blanche.
All right.
And then, yes, for sure, Heather would be Dorothy.
Okay. All right.
Meredith is not a factor. Meredith can't be a sitcom character because Meredith does not have any funniness about her.
Meredith is Stanley.
Sorry. Meredith is Sophia's sister who visits sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, circling back to Meredith, has no sense of humor. Like, when she's telling Seth, like this whole thing about Whitney being against her for years, when really you've known each other for 5 years because you didn't know each other before the show.
Well, several years though.
It's not, but Whitney hasn't been after her for several years, and it's not just Whitney; it's the internet thinking that you're a little wackadoo. So Whitney's just pointing out like truths that you're a little wackadoo.
Right.
You know?
I think that Meredith has a very dry sense of humor, but she doesn't have one when it comes to herself.
Right.
Or I think she can make jokes about herself, but no one else can. She can dish it out, but about
she cannot
herself,
take it.
But she can't take it.
She would be horrible as a rose. She would run off and be like, I'm not doing this.
Yes.
Or I'm disengaging from this rose.
So, but yeah, her whole attack on Whitney, I don't want to say attack on Whitney, but her coming for Whitney just seems so misplaced. Like the whole Alibaba comment, like, oh no, she's getting, again, a lot of people do that, I thought. And it's, what did Meredith say that I wanted to be the episode title?
Oh, I won several design awards.
Yeah, she doesn't design her own stuff, and I've won several awards. And it's like,
because she's like, I could have helped her. It's like, would you really?
Yeah.
Her? And yeah.
And again, like, doesn't it say something about what Whitney's trying to do if she's only, if she's remarketing Alibaba stuff? It means she's not seriously trying to design jewelry. So don't be so pissed off about it.
But I thought she was trying to really design jewelry. That was her thing last season at the sound bath, right?
I think so. I don't know if she designed that or she curated that. You know what I mean?
She co-designed it, like, right, as much as someone can design. So, yeah.
All I know is that
I feel like she'll explain it better when Heather. I thought it was funny, like how Meredith was saying, "I'm not going to tell her. Yeah. You should tell her." And it's like, for one, she makes sense. It would make sense for Heather to tell her.
Right. I don't know. I just think that there's plenty, again, just like Potomac and the damn wick candles.
Yeah.
We can have more than one jewelry designer on a show because really, truthfully, who the hell's buying their stuff anyway? I mean, the same people are going to buy their stuff that bought it before. It's not like someone's going to walk into Meredith's store and like Meredith's taste and see her designs and go, oh, well, I can't because I just bought a Whitney Rose design. Like, no. And vice versa.
True to my Whitney Rose.
Yeah, it's not like, again, it's not, there's only so much pie to go around. There's plenty of pie for everyone. We can all design jewelry. We can all make candles. We can all have bath bombs. We can all take baths with our husbands.
Well, and stick your toe up his taint. But that's the thing. It's like, Meredith just thinks, you're attacking me. You're coming for what I have. It's like, no, she's not.
I don't think Meredith really believes that, though. I think
she does. Meredith blows up her own head, like for sure.
Things that I've seen of Meredith in the off season when she's not like, she seems to be a very reasonable, normal person.
In the off season, like she supports GLAAD and other like great causes. She goes everywhere and knows every housewife.
Right.
From every franchise, but she seems like she's fairly cool. But when it comes to the show, she like gets in a mode. It feels.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the pre-show plan that Heather and Lisa and Meredith all had together was like, well, what are you gonna do? Well, I don't know. Pick on Whitney this season, and they're like, okay,
pick on Whitney and reacquaint myself with my Jewish.
Yes, and plan a bat mitzvah.
Yeah.
So,
there was
What did Heather really do other than spread gossip?
So this Bronwyn thing.
Oh,
I'm really confused, and I think they just are going in circles about like who feels hurt about what and who didn't support who. And what I got from the conversation, they were just gossiping, and then it wasn't that she was coming that sharply for Whitney, but Heather makes it seem as if she was like just savaging Whitney with like shade after shade, and then wasn't being true to Whitney's face when she saw her.
I mean, I will agree with Heather in that it did seem that Bronwyn wasn't being like, oh, I truly thought that was hilarious. It was like, I thought that was pathetic. And, like...
She called it trite when she was with Heather and Lisa, but then she said it was
epic.
Iconic,
whatever.
She's with Whitney. Obviously,
right. And so I agree with Heather that Bronwyn was making it out to be as though Whitney was being was cringy in her behavior, which is not the way Bronwyn related to Whitney herself. But at the same time, though, Whitney already knew about it, so why make it a point in either way? I will have to say, for Lisa's defense, I did like that she's like, no, I did defend you. Just Bronwyn didn't hear it. She wasn't there to hear it when she was defending her to Meili.
Yes.
But I wish that Bronwyn could have been like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Instead, she just kept talking right through Lisa and doubling down on like, you weren't supporting me. And then that's what caused this whole go-round. Let's get Heather involved, and then the whole thing.
Meredith jumped in for some reason. I was like...
She was standing there, and there was no one running to the bathroom.
I need to be in this.
Yes.
I don't think Lisa was... No. Yeah, I think that you're right. That is the issue of Bronwyn hearing what she wanted to hear, maybe, or not hearing what she wanted to hear, and just kind of like going off on a loop. And it just seemed like you're fighting over nothing, like just... And she was so butthurt about Lisa not being there for her and seeing this crack in their friendship. And I'm like, I don't think it was that deep. Not that I'm defending Lisa, but I just don't think it was that deep.
No.
And like the catty things she said about other people.
Yeah.
Meili.
Bronwyn was definitely overreacting a bit. But I think what she was trying to get in there, though, was like, look, I'm not going to just be here to, keep your secrets and be your, your minion.
Lapdog, yeah.
Yeah, like, I need you to support me too, and I'm on this for my own journey, and I'm not just here to be a supporting character, So,
well, I think too, yeah,
I have a snowflake.
I earned this. The thing about Bronwyn too, like she's really affected, and it kind of bugs. Like I like her; she seems like a cool person, but it's just so like I'm wearing costumes and like, haha, and I feel like. Maybe it's because she's with an older man, but like she reads much older than she is. It's like she's coming off like she's like 60, and
I don't think she's coming off that old, but
not. But like just like it's like her attitude is slightly reminding me of Karen.
Okay, she's an old soul, Jeff.
Yes. Married to a guy who has having sex with a man who has gout, as she put it.
My brother has gout. She can have sex with him, I'm sure.
But he's like Really not that old.
It's 50.
Anyone can get gout, right?
That's true. Yeah, I know some 20-year-olds with gout.
Yeah, but yeah, like it just seems so like put upon, and like that's why it's very Karen, because Karen has it's airs, like she's putting on airs.
Yeah,
and like that's what it reminds me of Karen and the grand dame of all. And like when Heather imitated Bronwyn, it was so spot on. Because that's what she's with the when putting the hair behind the ear
and not really looking up.
Yeah, like it's like, what are you doing here? I don't get it.
I did think it was funny that Heather added "madam" to the end of that. Which when I was earlier episodes, I was like, Heather was reminding me a little bit of "madam." So I was like, I'd like to make that into a GIF. GIF to the day I die,
or just a meme. Yeah,
meme. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I
hope they just resolve it, because it's a dumb fight. Just be like, I'm sorry if you didn't feel supported. I'm sorry that you thought I was being two-faced, Heather. Let's move forward. Whitney was right in the fact that Heather is doesn't trust people now after the whole Monica thing, which again got another Monica flashback. Can't keep her out of the show. But it's like, you got to get over that, Heather, too. Like, just
right.
She's been vetted, I'm sure everyone comes on to Salt Lake now will be super vetted. Like, they'll scrub their social media, not scrub it, but like look deep into it.
Right.
They might scrub their social media so they don't find anything, but like the producers will look for everything because they can't be bamboozled again.
Right. I think they'll get over it. I'm sure the start of next week's episode will just have like you're right, we should just get over this and blah, blah, blah,
Well, because then that's like segue into like Lisa and Angie.
Exactly. That's what's going to happen. Maybe Meredith will bring some caviar to the whole event. And I didn't so I know I'm jumping around again. I didn't realize that Meredith was the caviar queen of Salt Lake.
She's not. I guess she just likes caviar.
Bathtubs, caviar.
Like, you can't have everything.
I know.
Like, everything can't be your thing. You can't be like, I do center parts. That's my thing. What was with her like super ridiculously casual, like
sweater set that she had?
Like, did she know the cameras were rolling? Because her hair was like very like unstyled. She's wearing a sweater set.
What is it also with Salt Lake? It's episode 3 and everyone's had like 4 confessional looks. What is going on?
Yeah.
They just wear something new every time?
They must. I'm sure they're also like reshooting it as much as OC does.
That could be. I don't know.
I don't like.
I think the sweater set thing did kind of work. 'Cause that's something, if you're going to the snow or something,
cute.
You're hanging out on the lodge, après ski.
It's not confessional cute. It's in-scene cute. It was like, there's nothing aspirational about that. But at the same time, you shouldn't look like a freaking clown. Like
Bronwyn's final look right before the end.
It's so put upon.
It looked like one of those giant like animated hippie flowers because the sleeves were all big. And,
like if she's a puppet and you would move it, and the sleeves were attached to her arms like a puppet.
Yeah. It was a little much. And then I think the color of the dress matched her makeup a little too much.
She had like red eye. It was just
it was a little bit much. Meredith's her makeup line.
It
didn't go all the way up.
It did not go all the way up.
Or she'd just been in the sun and missed, had some sunblock there. I don't know. Something was up.
Do like a look where she has bangs, like fake bangs.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, I could see her in bangs.
That'd be good. Who was it on New York yesterday who had the weird...
Jessel?
Was it Jessel? No, one of them looked like all super goth. Wasn't Jessel. I'm thinking something else. Anyway,
you're thinking of Sai, because she was like all black in the black.
Oh yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
It looked a little. Yeah. It looked a little throwback, like 90s goth. It was kind of like
goth, like doing 60s. Though.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say Meili. She finally spoke.
But we don't know what her beef was about. The whole thing we started talking about.
I feel like they cut out the part where supposedly Bronwyn was talking smack about Meili's outfit. Which would that have been the outfit that she wore to the ropes course? Or would it be the outfit that she wore where she was at the...
It was the ropes course. I remember someone saying something about how Meili was inappropriately dressed or something.
It was Meredith because she was wearing a skirt.
Oh.
And Meili was just like saying sis a lot. That was her thing. Like, come on, sis, you got this.
We can suspend disbelief and just assume that Bronwyn said something catty about what she was wearing.
Yeah.
But it was also pretty crappy that she didn't, like, I don't know, like she could have at least addressed it instead of throwing Lisa directly under the bus.
Yeah.
Because the way she threw Lisa under the bus didn't say, I never said that. It was like, oh, well, if you want to know who really has a problem, yes, I said some horrible things, but Lisa said worse.
Well, also, dude, like, she should have said, like, because she didn't really give the punchline of Lisa's claiming you're going to be blacklisted from Nordstrom for returning stuff too much.
Yeah.
Like, instead, she was like, Lisa had an issue with your outfits. And so Meili was like, I think it was weird, too, because, like, Meili was there for a second, and then she was gone. Same with Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that basketball scene, but yeah.
Drama is happening, it's unfolding, and we're gonna probably forget about Meili.
Well, she has 4 kids, and she's a bad boss woman.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
And
she's really busy with her family and work.
Right.
That makes sense, and I'm so glad she can come on this trip to Milwaukee.
I know. It's not that she was like being paid to do so or anything.
Same way Meredith just changed her mind at the last minute, like, oh, I rearranged some things.
I moved some things around.
Like production told me to do.
Because it is on my calendar.
Right. Or maybe that's part of the shtick production has with her is like, oh, just pretend you can't go and then, just say you can. And that way it makes it look like you don't like Whitney. And she's like, well, I don't like Whitney.
Perfect.
Playing right into our hands. So, we have Salt Lake right here. So we can
I feel like we
talk about it earlier. We really did. Who was your favorite this episode? I would say
it's still Angie.
Angie?
She did it, the Greek thing was really prevalent. I wish you can get those sunglasses from Greek Mafia.
If Greek Mafia can send them to us.
Right. I would totally wear them. It definitely wasn't Meredith or Bronwyn. So
no.
I would say probably Angie was Angie and Mary. I liked Mary.
Really?
Mary saying to Angie, come on, you can dance. No, you can't dance.
Oh, that's funny. That's what she would say to me if I tried to dance.
Yeah.
Although it was funny when she turned around and said, okay, now you're dancing. I was like, that looks exactly the same to me.
What she was doing. She was just like throwing her hands in the air like she just didn't care.
Yeah. Or I like to say it's like I'm the Miley Cyrus where I got my hands up to play my flame. That's what I do.
That is very you.
Yeah, I try to.
You do like that.
Oh, yeah. Whitney's still my favorite.
Yeah,
I think season-wise, Whitney's still leading for me. I don't know, I don't know that she's really doing anything major the rest of the season. Do you remember anything?
Well, it's fighting with Lisa, and Lisa calling her a liar, and Justin defending.
Oh, sorry, my wrist hurts.
I think, that's going to be the major thing.
Okay, so Angie and Whitney, those are our top contenders.
And Mary, honorable mention to Mary. She really made it fun. She gave us some weird facts about tampons that probably aren't facts.
Don't remind me of these things.
Get the super size.
Gotta be not the smaller, the medium.
Heavy flow.
And so that would we agree that Meredith and Lisa are our 2 least favorite?
Actually not Lisa, probably Bronwyn for me.
Really?
Meredith and Bronwyn. Yeah.
Okay.
Lisa was like kind of benign. Like she didn't really do much for me.
I think I want to start
against me.
I want to start a spreadsheet and track our preferences from week to week.
Personal preference.
You know me, I just need to have a spreadsheet. Yes. Well, we're going to go watch our cat throw up, and we'll talk about this next time.
Until next time.